Hi, I'm Matt with etrailer. Today we're going to be talking about the SeaSucker Roof Rack system on top of our 2023 Kia Sportage. Now this is going to be a great option for you, especially since the naked version of the Sportage doesn't have a whole lot of options as far as roof racks go, so this is going to help you out a lot. And if you have multiple vehicles too, these are really easy to take on and off, and they're universal. So let's take a closer look at them. Now our system today is going to be comprised of two parts, and the first part is going to be our 48-inch round crossbars that sit at the top. And what's nice about these is you can actually unscrew these apart to save on some space. And then they're going to be connected to our SeaSucker system with this bracket and bolt. That's at the very top, and then the bottom is going to have these suction cups. And how these work is by when you press this plunger on the side, they'll suck up all the air out of there and apply pressure to your roof, giving you that solid connection. And to take it off, all you have to do is apply pressure to one of these tabs on the side, and it'll come right off. Now, one drawback to using these is they don't have any locking mechanism on there. So like I said, it is really easy to take on and off, but it's a lot easier to steal too. So one thing you can do to combat that is when you're not using these, just take them off real quick and then store them in your car. As for how it's going to sit up here, if we measure our front one, because that one's going to sit up higher, that's going to add a total of 5 inches and a quarter to your overall system. So what I'd recommend doing is taking the total height of your vehicle and crossbar, and if you have any accessories on top of that, so you know what areas you can make it under. As for the space underneath it, that's important to know too, so you know what clamp-on accessories can fit underneath here, and that's going to be about 4 inches. But if we move over to our rear crossbars, that's going to change to about 3 1/4. So definitely keep that in mind when you are putting those clamp-on accessories. You're going to have more room on the front crossbar. As for the overhang, now our SeaSuckers kind of are limited to where they can be placed since we have these ridges on our car. So their placement right now, that's going to be just about 11 inches from the tower. That gives you an idea of how much room you're going to play around with. Now as for how much further it's going to stick out from the side of your vehicle, it's pretty much going to be lined up with the top of your roof. So you really won't have any overhang in there. And finally, as for our crossbar spread, that's going to depend on what you want. Today we got about 31 inches, and it looks pretty nice up here. But if you wanted to extend or shorten that any, you have that ability to. You're also going to be able to put on clamp-on accessories, like I said earlier, and have a weight capacity of up to 150 pounds. Now what I recommend doing is going into your manual and making sure you find out what your roof is rated for. Then after that, you can go from the lowest component. Overall, I think this is going to be a solid option for you, especially if you are looking for something really quick and easy to put on and take off, and if you are switching cars around too. It's also going to be one of your few options, so finding other options might be kind of difficult as well. As far as the installation process, it was pretty straightforward and easy, but if you need a hand with it, just stay tuned and we'll show you how to do it. To start off our installation, we're going to lay everything out. So we're going to have the SeaSuckers themselves, and next to those we're going to have the round monkey bars. And what I recommend grabbing is some soapy water and a spray bottle and a towel to wipe things off the top of your roof. And you're going to have this included Allen key. So let's take a closer look at this. As you can see, we already have our rear crossbars installed. The front ones are going to be the same process. Only the difference is instead of just having a total of 2 suction cups, we're going to have a total of 4 suction cups. And what we're going to do now is grab that included Allen key and loosen up this bolt that connects to this bracket, because we want this opening to open up so we can put our round bars through here. Now we can grab these and put these through these 2 brackets or clamps on the top of these suction cups. Just sliding it through. and we can roughly place where they need to be. I also like to just tighten these down slightly so they're not sliding all over the place when we put them on top of our roof. Now we want to come up to the top of our roof, spray some soapy water on top, and then wipe it off. We want to do this so there's no debris left up here, and we're putting our suction cups on a clean surface. Because if there's any grime or debris underneath those suction cups, that could damage the top of your roof. And now we want to remove these covers. Now keep in mind you don't want to lose these, because you want to keep these covered when not in use, because if there's any debris, dirt, grime that gets on top of these, that could transfer to your roof and, like I said earlier, damage it. And when we're putting our crossbars on top of our roof, we want to make sure the plungers on these suction cups are facing behind us, and we want to roughly place this on top of the roof. We also want to make sure they're on flat surfaces. So as you can see, there's ridges on our roof. So we want to make sure that these suction cups are in between those ridges. Before we section our suction cups down, we want to take a few measurements so everything's even. So the first measurement I like to get is from the front of our windshield to the front of our suction cup. We want to make sure that distance is going to be the same for both of them. And the next measurement I like to get is going from the side of our suction cup to any point on the side of your car. You just got to make sure it's the same point on each side. And I like to use this seam we have, and I'm getting about 7.5 on one side, so I just want to make sure it's 7.5 on the other side too. And with everything looking even, we can start pressing this plunger down. We want to apply pressure to the top of the suction cup while we press it until that orange stripe is gone. Once you've done that to one of your suction cups, you can just repeat that same process on the rest of them. Now I'm going to check our crossbar overhang. So what I want to do is measure from that clamp to the end of the crossbar and make sure it's the same on each side. And you can adjust this just by pushing down on that crossbar, rechecking it, and making sure it's even. That's part of the reason why we didn't want to tighten this down earlier. With both sides even, I'm going to tighten down this bolt so that clamp is nice and secure around our crossbars. Just make sure you do that same thing on the other side. And when you're installing your rear crossbar, the only difference between the front and the rear is you're also going to take a measurement to see where that rear crossbar is going to sit to get your crossbar spread. And that's going to be dependent on what accessories you have. And when everything looks good, I just recommend doing a good shake test. Make sure nothing's moving and it's secure. And when it is, you can put whatever accessories you have on top of it and take it for a ride. And just to show you how quick and easy it is to take off, I'm just going to apply pressure on that tab. And when both of them release, you can take this off, unscrew it if need be, save on some more room. And once this is completely unscrewed, we can open up our hatch and store it in here. And if you liked everything you saw today, that's just a look at the installation and some of the features of our SeaSucker Roof Rack system on top of our 2023 Kia Sportage.